As an installer, one of the most important steps in working our PowerView Forest Drapery rod is to follow the order of operations. If we don't follow these, we can actually inhibit our programming later on. Before we can actually see our drapery rod in our app, we can actually need to follow a couple of steps. So let's take a look at what we need to do to set up, program, and adjust some settings for our forest drapery motor. First, we need to slide the transceiver in the channel on the side of the motor and connect it to the power supply via the data cable into the transceiver and the power supply into port aux2. When you are working with the PowerView Forest Drapery Hardware, you must first attach the motor to the rod. You will need to affix this by inserting it and turning it to align with the motor gear. It will look like this. You should hear a click. Make sure to use the motor locking pin to lock the motor in place, as you don't want the motor to drop on you or the customer's home or furniture. We have connected the motor, now we need to power it up. I will first plug the motor end into the power using the male connector end, and then plug into the DC power into the wall. Upon plugging the motor in, your transceiver will blink blue, blue, and red. If the limits are not set, you will see a second blue and blue after about 5 or 6 seconds to signify that your motor is powered up. At this point, lights on the motor head itself can be ignored. You may see a variety of yellow and green blinks on the motor head itself. Before I can see the drapery in the app, I must first set the open and close limits manually. Now I'm going to show this process to you twice for you to see. Once so we can see what's actually happening, and a second time with the drapery fabric when we actually set our limits, which is what you will do when you have the fabric on the headrail after it's all installed correctly. First, I need to set the limits. I'm going to start with the closed limit, then I'm going to use the open limit. So I need to pull the lead carriers towards the closed position. The motor is going to detect movement and start closing automatically until it's closed. Carriers will automatically start to open to set the open limits. After setting the limits, your drapery will now be visible to add to your home and rooms in the PowerView app. However, I am not done. There are some steps that need to be done in the app as well. After opening my PowerView app, I'm going to add new shades to my home. Let's go to More, Shades. When adding a drapery to a PowerView home, you will need to choose between 3 configuration options. Is it a left stack, a right stack, or a split stack? If you select the wrong stack side, the remote operation will seem reversed. Typically, upon adding a new shade to your home, you would always check and adjust limits in the app as needed. However, with draperies, I'm not able to set the limits for the drapery in the app, as we have already set the limits manually. If you have done this wrong, you will need to reset your limits and start again. Once I have added this drapery, I can control the drapery. I'm going to go to my More tab, Shades, and click on the drapery and the thumbnail. Remember, I'm going left to right. By following these simple steps, you can make sure your PowerView Forest Drapery rod is set up correctly before you leave the home. Use the app to apply what you've learned and to adjust additional settings to get the most out of your PowerView system.